Hey there, Global Church family. We are here in Kenya. We are wrapping up the second week of the Grace Message Conference in partnership with ECWA. And today we are interviewing one of ECWA's field coordinators in Malawi, John Mamman. And so, John, do you mind just going ahead and telling us just a little bit about yourself?
All right. Hello, viewers. My name is John Mamman. I'm the field coordinator of EMS of ECWA Malawi. I'm married to D2A Mamman, and God has blessed us with 4 kids. One adopted actually, Adonai, Hadassah, John Jr., and then Gabriel. Yeah, and I think that's just all about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's just dive right into your story. So, what was your growing up experience like in terms of a relationship with God? Did you grow up in a Christian home, or did you grow up where your family not believers? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I actually grew up in a Christian home.
Okay.
A well-disciplined home.
Okay.
You know what it is in Africa. You know, and fortunately or unfortunately for me, I'm the last in the family of 10.
Oh wow.
Yes, 10, 5 boys and then 5 girls.
Wow.
And for me, that wasn't really easy.
Okay.
Because I think to some extent that was part of the reason that really made me to turn the black sheep of the family.
Oh, okay.
Because at a point in time, I felt so frustrated that I was even asking God, why did he even brought me into this family? Like I regretted being in this family.
Okay.
Because as the last born, your decision don't count. You know, even if you have some genuineness,
right,
they don't even get to hear you because they feel you are just the petty or stubborn type, you know.
Okay.
So I didn't get those privileges. However, like I said in the beginning, I grew up, my family, my parents were Christians. So the devotional thing, you know, you woke up as early as 4:30 or 5 for devotionals. In fact, this brings back some nostalgic memory. My dad used to have a school bell, you know.
Oh, he would ring the bell before
from his room. He would walk down the corridor ringing the bell, and you know how that could sound early in the morning, you know. So that's how we just start coming out from our rooms to do devotion. So that strictness was there. Yeah, that's just a bit of my family background.
Gotcha. And so you grew up in a Christian home, but you said that you were kind of the black sheep. Your opinion didn't really matter. And so when do you feel like you understood more of who God is and entered into a relationship with him?
Still continuing from that part of a black sheep, because I didn't have a shoulder to lean on within the family. So I found succor outside, you know, peer pressure and what have you. And before you know it, I think at age maybe 17, 18, I got exposed to, you know, substances. I started abusing substances, alcohol, drugs and all that. So that took a better part of my life. Up until, but even at that, I was in and out of it, you know. Because of that, perhaps the foundational legalistic family that I come from, you're always scared when your parents get to know that you're into these things. Right. You know, what the repercussions could be. But then later in the years of my life, I got encountered to Christ Jesus. That was in 2028, 2029, if I'm not mistaken. You know, because of my background and my stubbornness, I have been in and out of school, you know, high school. So that really took the better part of my life. And then so you encounter the Lord, you get saved. So then what then draws you into ministry? Like I said, I encountered Christ 2000, I think 2009.
2009, okay.
2009, that was when I encountered Christ.
Okay.
But prior to that, sometimes we could attend crusades and then they would make altar calls.
Yes.
You give yourself out like that. But that of 2029 was remarkable because I felt something has happened to me, you know, and it happened through a cousin brother who was already in the seminary studying.
Okay.
And we haven't seen for a long time. But before then, I think something happened. After losing my elder sister, you know, the African thing, you, after the funeral and everything, you come together for a meeting and all that.
Okay.
You know, so that was when they sat us down and then they asked me, what do I want to do in life? You know, so I told them that I want to go into business, food business, and you know, somehow that didn't work because they felt I wasn't serious. You know, so you know how it is. This sibling will talk to that sibling, and then it's like a conspiracy against me. So that really got me angered, and then I left for quite some months like that. I wasn't talking to anybody, you know, just my mom. And even her, whenever she started bringing up what happened, I will shut the phone for that day. You know, but after a while, after like 2-3 months, I returned back home. And then I was just all by myself. I don't talk to anybody, you know. I will leave home as early as possible, and then I will come back in the evening. That has been the routine. But that very day, this my cousin showed up. And I didn't just know, for whatever reason, you know, it's like I was stampeded, you know. I didn't go out that day. I was just at home up until around 10 a.m. in the morning. Then he showed up. And somehow we got talking, and I didn't know how I started just pouring out my life to him, you know. And then after I shared all that I needed to, so he asked me, do I want to dedicate my life to Christ? I told him yes, and then I knelt down by myself. He prayed for me, and then that was it. Yes.
Gotcha.
That was 2029. So he now asked me, what do I want to do? So I told him that I want to go to the seminary. Like, just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. And so that was how it happened. Yes.
And the seminary that you went to, is that a part of ECWA EMS? Was it their seminary, or was it a different seminary?
Yeah, it's an ECWA seminary, just ECWA Theological Seminary.
And that is located in Nigeria?
Yes, it's located in Nigeria, Jos. Jos is the capital of Plateau State. One of the states in Nigeria.
Gotcha. And so when you went to seminary, is that where you met your wife, Didaway, or did you meet her at a different point?
That was where I met my wife. And interestingly, after I gave my life to Christ, and then I opted out to want to go to seminary. So my mom gave me money. I bought the form, and then, but I was still, you know, smoking weed and then cigarette, and then a little bit of alcohol, even when I have given my life to Christ. You know, so, but then usually you buy the form and then they schedule the exams. So I did the exams in, I think, around December of that year. My encounter with Christ was around September, thereabout. So it took me October, November to process the form and everything. And then I wrote the exams in December. But I know I prayed to God after writing the exam, because after writing the exams, it takes like 6-7 months before the before the session begins. It usually begins in August. So, but I remember telling God that I don't want to be idle. He should give me something to do while I wait, you know. And surprisingly, in January, I have even forgotten that I had applied for a job in October to work in an eatery, like KFC kind of a setting, you know. So in January, after the exams, I received a call for an interview. So that was how I started working. I worked for like 6 months, and then I resigned to go to school. You know, and then I think all through those months that I was working, I was still smoking. and still drinking. But after I quit the job, that was in September, and then I resumed school in August of 2010. It's like a miracle. The moment I stepped foot at the gate of the seminary, it's like something was taken out of me. You know, because I remember I was to resume on a Monday, but then Friday was the last crack I smoked, and I wrote in my diary that today will be the last day I will do this. And then I think God confirmed it for me. The moment I stepped foot, it was like a cloth has been removed, and then another one being, put on me. So since that time, that was the liberation for me. So, and D2A2, my wife, she too was admitted in the same year. But I think she came up late after the admission has already been, issued out. But then she was given an audit. To audit some courses. So all through, she wasn't like fully a student. But I know one of those moments I spotted her, and my heart just clicked that this is. Yeah, you just knew. And surprisingly, we never agreed with my wife. In fact, she hated me. Because my wife came from her background is the type that my wife is too legalistic to the point that if she knows that you are into alcohol, not even cigarette or weed, just alcohol, she wouldn't even shake you, not to talk of to even talk to you. So that was how legalistic my wife was. So, and I just came out of from that, that background of smoking and all that. So you could still see the hardiness and all of that. So my wife, in fact, she never greeted me.
Oh, wow.
She never greeted me. Yeah.
So then how did you guys, if she was very legalistic, very opposed, like how did you guys end up having a conversation and even getting to know each other?
Right. Our first year, like I said, she wasn't like consistent because of her audit courses. So, but I think our second year, that was when she was confirmed. Because the condition was she had to perform very well to be able to be given admission. And then she picked up the challenge, and she did. So she joined us fully in second semester. So, but even at that, we weren't in talking terms. But then she connected with my best friend in the seminary. But me, it's like I'm just I'm like a monster before her. I don't know. So, but it kept going that way up until we formed a reading group. And then she too was part of the reading group. So that was how we started getting close. And unfortunately, we were in the same department. Because we both studied missions and evangelism. And she was the only lady in our class. As a mission student. So we started getting close, and then as time goes by, perhaps she started getting to know my kind of person. I was very loud, when if I'm here, and then you could easily spot me, So, but then as time goes by, she started getting to know my personality, and we started getting close. And I think 2 years before our graduation, that was when I asked her out. Yes, that was, I think I asked her out on the 13th or 12th, I can't remember, of December 2012. Yes. Gotcha. Very cool. But prior to that, we became friends, and then we became close. I was in a relationship, she was in a relationship. So what usually brought us close is to like lament on our relationship. She shares hers, and then I share mine, and then we prayed about it. But somehow I think we were crushing on each other.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yes. So then you go to, just what a crazy thing that the Lord did. Like, you have this experience, your cousin comes and talks to you, and then instantly, like, the Lord is just like, all right, go to seminary, and you go to seminary, and then you meet your wife, and you're both in the same department studying missions and evangelism. And so what did that look like? So, I mean, the Lord already had you guys both on the same page in terms of what the call was for you guys to do. And so then walk me through, as you decide to get married and are like figuring out next steps, like, what did you feel like the Lord was calling you guys to do as you got married?
I think our last year in school, usually EMS will go to different ECWA schools, you know, to see how if they could recruit, you know, staffs, you know. But I remember one of my mentors before graduating, he told me something that I shouldn't just rush into ministry immediately after graduation. I need to go back home and then see if I can be utilized, you know, by my community. My community. That's my DCC. And so when we were graduating, our last semester, I guess, so EMS came with forms for those that would be interested, you know, to join. But I didn't even give it a second thought, because I knew that was not what I wanted to do at that particular time. You know, so I went back home, and then I did some voluntary work for like a year or two, and then somehow we became convinced that this is what we wanted to do. You know, and then we pick up the form through a friend. We pick up the form, and then that was how it started. But after picking up the form, everybody knows in ECWA, everybody knows how EMS is. Whoever that is in EMS that person must have sacrificed. You know, because EMS is a place where anybody don't want to go to. You know, there are big churches, there are juicy churches that you can easily go there and work and get paid, you know. So after picking up the form, I was called for an interview in one of the churches we applied for, and but we had already picked up the form, because at that particular time we were convinced. We prayed with my wife that this is what we want to do, and then the Lord confirmed it. So we pick up the form, and then we filled up. And you don't just submit the form, you have to take it to the DCC for the superiors to assent to it. So after taking the form, they were like, why do we want to go to EMS? Don't we know what EMS is? You know? Like discouraging words, so to say. So, but we felt convinced that that is where God is leading us to work. So that was how it happened. I returned back the form, and then after like some months, they called us for interview. Yes, that was how we started work with EMS. And I know one of the vows we made with my wife was that anywhere God sends us to work, we will go. Yes. So we joined EMS, and then we were doing church planting, urban church planting, and then we were brought to the office at the same time to work as assisting the coordinator. So we were doing church planting, and then I was still coming to the office.
And this was all in Nigeria?
That was all in Nigeria. And I remember as the assistant coordinator, I chaired about 2 meetings, and one of the agendas for the meeting is that they are looking for missionaries to join the cross borders to work outside Nigeria. And it never dawned on us that we will be sent to Malawi, you know, to work. But after 2 years of church planting in Nigeria, and so they now told us that they felt they want to send us to Malawi. In fact, they didn't even mention Malawi, they just said cross border. How do we see it? They talked to me first, that I should go and talk to my wife about it. So after talking to her, and then she reminded me that about the vow we took, that wherever God sends us,
you would go.
We will go, and that was how it happened. So we accepted, and then we were interviewed, and it was during the interview they told us that they will be sending us to Malawi. And to be honest with you, I've never heard about Malawi
Okay.
up until when we were interviewed and we were told.
Okay.
Because during even the meetings that I chaired, they just said they are looking for missionaries that will walk in the cross borders.
Right.
You know, they never mentioned the country, but it was after during the interview when we were told, I started browsing to know about
Right.
Malawi. That was how I got to know about the country.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because Malawi isn't really close to Nigeria. Like Nigeria is kind of up here, and Malawi's like over down here. And
No, it's not. Nigeria is in the western part
Right,
of Africa,
right.
while Malawi is on the southern part of Africa.
Right.
So they are just apart
Yeah.
from each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. Really quick before we keep going with your story, just to make sure I understand. So ECWA is kind of like the church denomination, right?
Yes.
And then EMS is
A department.
the missions department of it, and then
Yes.
EMS Cross Borders is then the missions department that goes outside of Nigeria.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that's clear. It's a lot of acronyms, just so I understand. So the Lord.
EMS is actually Evangelistic Missionary Society
Okay.
of ECWA. That's what it means.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good to know. So you're meeting with them. They bring up Malawi. Your wife reminds you we made a vow wherever God sends us, and so you go for the interview. You figure this out, and so what happens then? You guys are picking up your family. Do you have children at this time?
Yeah. Then we had Adonai.
Okay.
And then Hadassah was just getting to a year.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So after the interview and everything, they started preparing us.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Simon Yako was the director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in fact, he started introducing us to Grace.
Okay.
But because we don't know anything about Grace, it was more like we were confused,
Oh, okay.
so to say. But we started hearing about the material.
Okay.
From Simon Yako. Because they were so busy, I think we met 2 times or 3 times in his office. And then he took us through position in Christ.
Okay.
But like summarily, not like extensively.
Yes.
And then the other book was, what is it? Is it building the church or something?
Establishing
the church.
Okay.
Yes. So those were the two books. But even at that, we have no idea
Right.
what we're coming to meet.
Right.
Yeah, but one thing he told us that when we arrive the country, we will understand it better. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's so interesting. Like your season of preparation, you're getting ready to go. You're moving out of the country you've lived in your whole life, and you're meeting with Simon, and he's like talking to you about grace and going through these things, but it's confusing. And then he's like, "But you'll figure it out when you get there. Like you'll know more when you get there." So, what was that like then? Arriving in Malawi, this brand new country, and then also knowing that there's this teaching out there about grace that you're a little bit confused about. I feel like, was that unsettling then to go to a new country with all of this confusion, I guess?
Yeah, usually, you're accustomed to a certain environment, people, food, and all of that.
Right.
And then coming to, an environment that is completely strange to you, it's really, really not easy for us at the beginning.
Right.
Even though after we arrived, we had spent a month with our predecessor, Joseph Lazarus. Before, I think our biggest challenge, if I will use that word, was after they left, because we're all by ourselves.
Right.
Right. You have to figure out things for yourself.
Right.
And I remember after we arrived Malawi on the 23rd, which was Saturday.
Okay.
And then Sunday, Scott and Jim, if I'm not mistaken, I think Scott and some other team arrived and then we started the
Wow.
meeting for the grace.
Wow. So the very next day after
The
you
very next
arrived.
day.
Wow.
No, we arrived Saturday,
Uh-huh.
and then they arrived Sunday.
Okay.
So we had to go to the airport to pick them.
Wow.
And then Monday,
And then Monday.
we started up, and that was when I started to get to know about, grace message,
Okay. Yeah.
and the way it was taught. Okay, the thing is, I have this, I believe in Calvinistic, theory that once saved, you're always saved.
Okay.
But I don't have substance to really substantiate,
Okay.
the grace thing. So much so that I don't talk about it, even as a pastor,
Okay.
because I don't understand it.
Right.
So,
Right.
except maybe if I meet immature Christian, but then people that really know what they are doing, honestly, I don't talk about grace because I don't know anything about it. So,
Right.
but being in Malawi and encountering grace, it wasn't difficult for me to grasp.
Okay.
It's like a puzzle being fixed for me.
Okay. Yes.
I know it, but I don't. I know it's permit me to say I know it, and at the same time I don't know it.
Right. Yes.
So, but encountering it, it didn't take me time to grasp it.
Okay.
Though I'm still learning,
Yeah. Well, I think it's something it will be a lifelong learning for us.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you get to Malawi, and then Scott and Jim show up, and then you're starting to understand the grace message. And so, what was your role in Malawi? Were there ECWA churches already established there,
Yeah.
or were you working to plant a church there? What did that look like for you?
Okay, a little background of Malawi field. Most of the churches are more or less converted churches.
Okay.
It's not like they started up the church from the onset. Even Lazarus being there, already there was some connection between EMS,
Okay.
and some of the Malawi people.
Okay.
They talk at their level, and then it's like we were just brought in, to shaping what has already been established.
Okay.
So they already they had their background. So, but then they left that to join ECWA.
Oh, okay.
So it's like starting all over again,
Okay.
But that I'm not saying that happened with me, but we were brought in, even
Right.
Lazarus himself, to build upon that kind of a foundation.
Okay.
So you can imagine it will really be difficult for them to just do away with where they were coming from.
Right.
They have their cultural thing, and then ECWA is coming with its own cultural thing,
Right.
and then now Grace is coming, to reveal the truth,
Right.
like to flash the truth. So those are some of the things that we're battling with. But then God has been so faithful. One thing I will tell you is that unlike before, an average ECWA member knows about the assurance of his salvation. They know that when they die, they will go to heaven.
Okay.
That one is certain, regardless of whether they sin or they don't sin.
Okay.
But before, when you ask them, if you die, would you go to heaven? They will say, no. If you ask them, are you a Christian? They will say yes. So if you die, will you go to heaven? They will say no. Why? Because of sin. Oh, really? But over time, that has changed.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, as you're coming to Malawi, it's all new. You're encountering the grace message. How did that impact, like, you and then your wife and then your children? Like, how did that change how you saw God and how that impacted, I guess, your relationships here?
I used to be mad at myself anytime I fall short, anytime I sin.
Yeah.
And like, this is something that you don't want to do, and then you find yourself doing it.
Right.
So it's like, if care is not taken, it will spoil the whole of my week. Just because of one. And then sometimes when I feel I'm upright, there's this joy that I feel, like God is happy with me.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, sometimes I attach certain happenings to me
Okay.
to God not being happy. I feel more like a transactional kind of a relationship.
Right.
You know, I have to do this in order for God to do that for me. You know, so but then learning grace helped me to, it's like an antidote to some of those things that I held on to so seriously.
Right.
And I remember when we first came, you know, the eyes from which I see the Malawians, it's more of a, I won't say hatred, you know, but then I don't like, you know, you find me just fighting them. I wanted them to do certain things. It's not working, you know, it's just pissing me off. So it's almost like I'm living in anger, you know.
Okay.
But as time goes by, you know, God started healing me from the, you know, the grace messages, especially creation to Christ. And I'm so in love with knowing God that, you know, even before finishing reading the book, I had started teaching it, you know.
Okay, yeah.
I usually go to minister every Friday in an open market, so to say.
Okay.
You know, and anytime I'm teaching, sometimes even me myself, I can't believe that, you know, I had taught that. Because most of my messages, I do record them. So when I come to play it, and then I'm like, God, I really thank you for this understanding.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I know some people are struggling to really grasp it, but in my case, it didn't really take me time. You know, and we opted as a family to be using it as a devotional.
Okay.
Yes, as a devotional. Back home, we don't use. I really don't like devotionals.
Okay.
You know, you print a devotional like in ECWA, they will tell you this is for 2025, from January to December every. You know, so I feel restricted reading that kind of.
Okay.
So what we usually do with my wife then was just to pick up a book, a Christian literature, and then we are reading through as a devotional and then read our Bible. But encountering grace, you know, we just started using the materials, you know, for a devotional. And I try to encourage my missionaries to be using it as a sermon kind of a material for them.
Right.
Yes. Because of the impact it's making in me, I felt the need to really extend it, to guide them on how to, you know, do it. So as a family, it's really, really helping us, you know. And to be honest, I think God designed that we should come to Malawi so that our marriage will be sharpened. You know, I will tell you that for a fact, that Grace Message has really helped me in particular to start seeing my wife in a different light. You know, I thought I could change my wife on certain things that I don't like about her. You know, but I've come to realize that if God is will I be right to say okay with the way I am and still having a relationship with me, how much more if I can, you know, extend that love to my wife too. So that has really, really changed. You know, and one of the things that those days, you know, anytime we have a conflict with my wife, it doesn't take time for the children to know what's happening. It's like an energy has been emitted, and then before you know it, there's just confusion, you know.
Right.
But now, no, we're good, and we thank God for that.
Yeah. Isn't it incredible how God just, He knows what you need. He knows what you need to understand and to grow, and He just gives it to you. And so that's just really, really cool to hear that in your story. And then your children have the opportunity to grow up knowing and understanding grace.
In fact, my children, I often say that they are most privileged. You know, they are most privileged that God has exposed us to this truth, and then they will grow up in it.
Yeah.
Like I shared yesterday, our daughter Hadassah, she gave her life to Christ when she was 4. And she could still tell you the story.
Yes.
You know, and sometime in February or March this year, her little brother too gave his life to Christ. That couldn't have crossed our minds.
Yeah.
You know, there is no amount of reading the Bible or what that would have caused us to think that kids like that, you know, could understand the message of the Bible and then even, you know, give their life now.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think grace has helped us to redefine our mindset and then to start looking at the Bible in a different light, you know.
Yeah.
So really our kids are most privileged.
Right.
And I think our first daughter too, Adonai, God is helping her. You know, she's really grasping the message, because we do share some of these materials to her online. I know a lot of things have changed, you know, in her. Sometimes I remember how we struggle with her, you know, because of the background where she was coming from. So that residue of her experience is still playing out in her life.
Yeah.
But now, no. Adonai, it's pretty well, and she's really doing well, you know, understanding God, and she's enjoying her relationship. I remember when I traveled last year, you know, in her room, she just wrote scriptures, like all over. I said, what's this? She said, Dad, I just want, the moment I'm waking up, I'm just being steered by all of these things, you know. So it's really worth it. Yeah.
Wow, that's so special though, just to be able to watch your children grow up in this and to have them be exposed to it at such a young age. I think it's a gift, because like I didn't grow up understanding grace, and so there's a lot of, like you said, unlearning things that you have to do, and then your children don't have to do that. So that's really special. So can you bring us now to what your ministry in Malawi looks like today?
The ministry in Malawi, it's more of you know, discipling the people. You know, when I came to Malawi, I discovered that there's a whole lot of churches. Okay, most Africans have an impression about Nigeria, and it's even worse in Malawi. Okay. Because they watch our movies, so they believe what they are seeing in the movies. Okay. They thought it's real. So to them, it's a dream come true to meet a Nigerian or to be in Nigeria. Oh, okay. So because of that, most of the missionaries that we're working with, then you discover that they are so quick to want to open churches. In fact, when there was this time, we had over 20 something churches just in Mozambique. Wow. Not to talk of Malawi, you know. And for me, I see that as just noise and crowd and what have you. All my life, I've never been exposed to crowd. Okay. You know, the church we started with my wife in Malawi, in Nigeria, before coming are just few families. Okay. And then here am I, it's like almost every week you're opening churches. No. Why don't we manage these ones we have? So that was what God has helped us to do, to really prune some of those things, so that the ones that stayed are really the ones that God has given us. So the work is more of, you know, discipling them, you know, teaching them about God through the eyes of grace, basically, and then capacity development. Malawi, if you know Malawi is considered to be one of the poorest countries in Africa. So they are so dependent, you know, they live on handouts, you know, aids from America, UK, and the rest of the countries. So they are so dependent, they believe that whoever that is coming to their country is their responsibility to be cared for, you know. So, but we're trying to help them to disabuse their minds from that kind of a mindset. The country is wealthy, is rich, but then the poverty is that of the mind.
Okay.
You know, so we're using both, you know, to really correct that notion. I know it's going to take us a long time, but at least the foundation is being laid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, they are really, really learning that they have this impression that they have to fast to gain acceptance before God. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of a teaching.
Okay.
That if
That transactional that you had
Transactional.
earlier. Yeah.
you know, if they always attach their predicament to not pleasing God and all of that, you know. So, but that is really, really changing, and
That's
it is
good.
because of the discipleship, you know, the teaching that they are receiving, that God is helping us to unlearn that, and also this going to the mountain thing. They believe that they can meet God right there at the mountain.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, they pride in it that as a pastor, if you don't go to the mountain, you're not spiritual. You're not spiritually enough to be in ministry. So they pride in that.
Okay.
You know, but God is helping us to really, not that you can go to the mountain just for quietness.
Right.
You know, we try to let them understand that, look, you can meet God anywhere you are.
Right.
But if you must go to the mountain, go with the understanding that you just needed some sort of isolation,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But not that you're going there to meet God.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Gotcha. And then moving to today, then can you just share a little bit the impact of these past two conferences have been? Last week having the youth teach through God's eternal plan, and then this week going through the book of Ephesians. How has that impacted you?
Honestly, you know, it's just so amazing. And I felt challenged to see these guys, these young guys, you know, standing in front of a crowd of people, matured people, and then teaching those lessons with confidence. And I think I shared with some of my colleagues to say that, look, these guys are not giving us head knowledge. They are giving us conviction, what they believe. You know, what has happened to them, that is just what they are sharing. You know, so it has really challenged me. And I feel I'm just praying in my heart that God, when do we get there? You know? But at the same time, I am consoled in the fact that it's something that can be achieved, you know, but it will require time. I know I had the cause to really talk to some of the parents and the teachers, you know, as to how do they get to, you know, inculcate that kind of discipline in the kids. And I know for the few that shared, said it requires time, you know, discipline, and, you know, sacrifice, so to say. And I feel it's something that's worth emulating, you know, because they are the future of the church. So I'm beginning to think that God should help me, that when I return, I'm not too much of a language person. You know, for the 7 years that I've been in Malawi, you'll be surprised that I can't even speak the language like fluently to the point that I can even preach or teach. You know, but then I still feel challenged to really get the young people, you know, into doing that. And thank God, one of my missionaries have left for Nigeria, you know, for studies. So automatically I will assume the leadership of the church. And that church has a lot of young people. So, and I'm just trusting God that we will do something with them. In fact, I want to change the strategy. Rather than, you know, Africans, we have this mindset that it's only the adult that can stand and teach. You know, so, but I think if they are given a chance, they will really, really do well. I'm talking about the youth in our church in Malawi. So the bottom line is I feel challenged, and I feel it's something that is worth emulating. Yes.
And then what have you taken away then from this Ephesians conference?
The Ephesians conference. For me, the seat, walk, and what's and stand. It reshaped my mind to seeing that grace message is not a license to sin. But when you follow it progressively, you will understand that it's actually a freedom to live your Christian life.
Yeah.
Sitting, I don't need to do anything.
Right.
I'm just sitting, resting in the finished work of Christ. But if I must walk, I should be able to do it with understanding of what Christ has done for me.
Right.
And for me, what the takeaway for me is that, in fact, it created a balance for me now to understand that, okay, God has reconciled us to Him, and He has given us this message. He has given us the responsibility to reconcile the world to Himself. So that is the work, my responsibility.
Yeah.
Not that I'm doing good works like how do I? It's not like work to please God, but rather it's work to reconcile the world back to the Father. So it's really, really amazing. I can't just wait to go back home to start studying it myself. Yeah. But it's amazing. I'm really, really glad and privileged that I'm part of it.
Yeah. Well, I have just one more question for you before we end, and that is, how can we at Fellowship Bible Church be praying for you, for your wife, for the ministry in Malawi? What are some specific prayer requests that you have?
To be specific, pray for us that God will help us to raise funds so as to develop our facility. One of my greatest desire is to develop our facility. ECWA through the EMS has helped us to secure a very big land.
Okay.
I think 2018, when the global conference was hosted in Malawi, that was the space we used.
Okay.
So my greatest desire is that place should be developed, because it will really, really do us a lot of good. It will save us from spending money, getting the people together, paying for lodges and all of that. But if we have our own facilities, it will really go a long way, into helping us. And the second prayer point is that pray specifically for my kids. Coming to Kenya, for me, it has really helped me to redefine how I relate with my kids. I really want them to understand God from the point of view of relationship. Something happened yesterday, and it got me thinking, actually. My daughter sent me a message to say that the scooter, all of them, I bought them a scooter which they are, riding within the compound. So, but yesterday they forgot the scooter, and then that of Gabriel got stolen. So, my daughter sent me a message, and then she sent my wife a message. But these are two different. On my message, she was like, "Dad, I'm sorry. I know you'll be mad at me. Blah 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 blah." But the mom, she was just free to say, "Mom, Gabriel's scooter has been stolen, and this is what happened. This is what happened." But in my case, she was like scared to even, it's like her fault or something. So I really don't want. I want my relationship with my kids to really change. I don't want them to relate with me based on, a father figure who can punish at any time. You know, I don't really want that. So pray that that God should help me to really have a good relationship with my kids. Yes. So basically, that's just my prayer point.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for your honesty. And yeah, we're excited to see what God continues to do in your life, Didaway's life, and through the work in Malawi. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Yeah.